I think. Yeah. Well, I'm back. But I see. Well, I'm not shocked. If I'm being honest, because let's be real. That sounds like exactly what would happen there. Irony is that I guess it killed my internet for a second. Not sure why. After all you were doing was stating fact. Anywhoozle. Nah. I dislike TikTok for a very different reason, which is that it just seems to kill the brain cells of the people on there, which actually kind of fits in with what you were saying. Like, legit. So, yeah, that was my answer. And something tells me that, yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Alright, that's a bunch of these everywhere. At some point, I'm just gonna have to be realistic and be like, yep, that's just not. Yeah. No. I believe it. I honestly believe it. So, oh, I see I have extra. This would be another set of stairs. You know what? We're just gonna do this. Then we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna do this. And then we're going to do this. And then from that we can do this. And that we can do that. Ta-da! Now I have enough to go do what I need to do. Oh, I need more. Right, I need to dump. You know, I'll dump the 64 one. Just in case more sticks fall. It's a lot easier to go get the sticks if I have a one that has less. Yeah. Like that. Anyway. I also realize I need a ton of these. Yeah. Alright, so first house I'm about to finish. Well, everything other than the one thing. The windows and stuff, but roof-wise, I'm gonna finish that. And that'll be great. Yes, Suna has finally gone to go sleep and take a nap. And I feel slightly bad about it, but at the same time, not that bad. Alright. Yeah, down we go. And let's go grab more of these saplings that I really don't need and stuff. I mean, because I have so many. So many. Alright, we grab these, we grab those. We grab those. Eventually I go sell them to the stick dude. But so that I can buy terracotta. So that I can finish another one. But see, look, it looks nice. And these are like that on purpose. Wait, I haven't messed this up. Alright, this looks right. Yeah. Whoop-a-doo, right. They'll have gone to bed. I can't go to bed yet. Y'all are nutty. No! My stream crashed. What, you thought I was only streaming for what, 5 minutes? Plus, I was mid-sentence. Heck, you typed something. Anyway, I was gonna say, I believe what you were saying before the stream crashed, honestly, because what I just like about TikTok is, let's be honest, it seems to kill brain cells. So, yeah. That was... Alright, you're not what I'm looking for. Where is my buddy? My friend. I think you still have more than many people on that are on that app. Let's be real. Because I'm not, like, yeah. Not, of course, to be, like, rude or anything. I'm just saying, sometimes it feels that way when you see it. Eh. All that really means is that reality is reality. Just one of those moments, I suppose. Either way, I mean, reality is often disappointing. I don't disagree. Although sometimes it's crazy, it's stranger than fiction. As noted effectively by a fictional character. It can be, and that's the thing that's really amazing, let's be real, is that they can both simultaneously be disappointing and insane at the same time. You know? Maybe not, but yeah. I mean, that's the thing that's sad to look at with the whole thing. There we go. I've got more of these. It's that kind of thing where it's like, don't have unrealistic expectations, and then it's like you have normal expectations, and then it's like, it doesn't go that way. It's just like, oh, I forgot the, I mean, because let's be real, I mean, that's the real answer. That's the problem. Knowing it. Because you don't want to think, well, can't get any lower than this. Because then you know it'll absolutely get lower than that. Anyway. Also, the tragedy of it all is that, yeah, being realistic is not in vogue at the current moment. And that's what I think is even more disappointing. If I'm being totally honest. Yeah. Probably because it is disappointing. Like, you don't want to think about that kind of stuff, but it's like, you kind of gotta. Otherwise, you won't see the things that are good as well. That's the thing that's sad about it. Is that by ignoring the negatives, you can't find the positives. That's what I would say. It's typically often the case. Well, depends. I'm not specifically going to say something, but didn't the other day, you, for example, you ran into a friend of yours that you haven't seen or such spoken to in a very long time, right? That's a good thing. But if you only live in Fantasyland, you'd never see them, because you would not notice them. Sure. Point being that it can be a happy thing. Good things can happen, but if you choose to ignore them because you don't want to focus on reality, I mean, that's just all I'm saying. It's sad. I'm not to say that, like, it always feels good. I'd have to take a good dose of reality. I mean, I can guarantee that's not the case, but, you know. That's it. Living in a wonderland just means that you won't notice the things that you care about slipping away as well. Unfortunately. Because you don't want to think about it. And then by the time you look up, everything's gone and you're alone and bitter. And blame everyone else for that. That's why I believe that one should look at true. You're always a little bitter. No. Maybe you're not. But no, I'm not gonna say. I don't know. There's one of those things for me. I'm like, I guess to me, because like I've certainly had times that I'm like, I'd rather pretend that like weren't happening or the case or whatever, but oops, that's the wrong side. Nothing. We were having a discussion about reality. Oh wait, I was right. Hey, gravity's not a bad thing. It keeps you from floating off into nowhere. And it keeps you grounded. Somewhat. at the very least, it literally keeps you grounded. No? Okay, 1 second. 1, 2, 3. Anyway, how are you, Boot Bomb? I hope you're doing well. Or at least as well as you can be doing. Yes, I did know that was coming. One superpower, huh? That's an interesting question. Hello, thank you for the first time chat. Dino Liku, how are you? I hope you're doing well. And then... Anyway, so... yeah. Well, thank you for the follow. Now let's see if this thing will work. I'm hoping it will. Yes, it did! Yes! Sorry, I just like put those in 2 days ago. But hello, hello! Hello, Dino. Yes. Exactly. And I'm also going to be calling you Dino. Unless you have something else you'd rather me call you. So, but Dino seems like it. Alrighty. There we go. And drink a sip of my water. Anyway, back to Mr. Failur's question. Power. That's a good question, actually. As I was saying, 'cause they all have their downsides, too. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to fly. That's for sure. 'Cause that would just be... I mean, there's no guarantee you'd be able to control it, and even if you could, you'd likely run into things. Similar situation for... Flight always seems cool, but, like, think of it like this. Let's say because you're flying, you end up running into a building. Because you can't basically slow down in time. Because you have the ability to go forward. You could think of something worse. I could think of several things worse. For example, teleporting. What if you teleport into a building? Because there's no guarantee that you're gonna get out of that one. Yeah, or an into a jet engine, or the flight as well. Those are both, for both of those jet engines are terrifying prospect. And then for like something like pyrokinesis, well, you're gonna end up burning down your house. Or someone else's house, or you might kill somebody. Even. Depending on the situation, so that wouldn't be a good one. You want reflection manipulation? Oh, that sounds like a fun one. I wasn't saying I wouldn't. That's why I was saying burn your own house and stuff. Like, you hurt yourself. Let's see. And then, for example, another example of ones that, it's like, it seems like it'd be good, but no. You know what? It goes, You know, healing's a good one, actually. I agree. Although it depends on what the downsides to it would be, because you know there would be downsides. But I like the idea of the healing factor. Actually, no. Because depending on how the healing factor works, as you put it, like, I mean, you think of, like, Wolverine. Depending on the iteration, he could be, like, several hundred years old. Yeah, Wolverine has PTSD, and then he kind of outlives a lot of people. Sometimes, too. Depending on the version. But they're certainly, like, legit. And not just because, like, war or anything. Because he always reverts, if you will, back to his initial state. Billy, would I like to have if it was to work perfectly? The ability to always have the right amount of money in my pocket. I saw this like I know it's my grandfather once used to tell a joke kind of thing. But the concept of the ability would be actually pretty good. Perhaps. Exactly. Feeling hacked or densely is outliving everyone in the midst of yes. And besides, you can't really form connections. Beyond that, if you have no ability to make money, well, you're going to have... Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it dark. No ability is perfect, and many of them are kind of crappy. But like I said, if it worked perfectly, something like... No, not necessarily even then, because the thing is, even if you don't normally actually care about someone, you outlive like everything. Heck, even a tree. You can't even care about a tree. Because age-wise, you'll still outlive that sucker. And the fact of the matter is, even if you don't care about people, somebody's going to make you care, and then it's going to become all the worse, because then when that person dies, you have to live with that regret. Somebody's going to succeed. At some point. It's kind of just how that tends to go. Even in general. Not one person, and then that's it. Even if you swear, oh, I'd be the one person never affected, it still would end up affecting you. I don't like this, so... So, yeah, I still think it would... Shoe manipulation, ooh, I like that. Perfect petty power. Until you accidentally kill someone by untying their shoelaces as they trip forward and they fall down the stairs and die. So, I mean, there are downsides to that power, too. The petty nature of it, I love it. I assume also with shoe manipulation, you can make it so that whatever shoes you're wearing fit perfectly and are actually comfortable as well. Not just the shoelaces. Because that would be the part that would be good. Time travel, yeah. I didn't say you were gonna... I didn't say anyone was gonna blame you until somebody finds out about your abilities, and then every single death related to Shu will become suspected. You'll be suspected of from that point onward. Somebody will realize at some point because, well... That's just how it tends to go. And as far as time manipulation, paradox is one thing. But beyond that, like, depending on how the power works, you might only be able to go one direction. Maybe you can only go forward or only go backward. Therefore, anybody and everybody that you would normally want to speak to, you won't be able to ever speak to again just because you accidentally moved forward some ridiculous amount. And also, depending on the individual, not specifically saying you, with the shoe manipulation, but depending on the situation, you might actually, feel guilt. I mean, effectively forced to feel guilt for something that you kind of don't necessarily feel like would normally feel like that guilty about necessarily, because it's your fault. Potentially, technically, they might have been able to live a little bit longer, even if. And then, I mean, honestly, like, yeah. Memory manipulation? Yeah, that's true. Chaos there. Just don't use it on anyone you ever. Well, actually, depending. You know what? That would be great and all until you accidentally erase the memories of someone you've been working really hard to gain the trust of, and therefore they go back to being absolutely judgmental and scared of you. Therefore meaning that you're potentially always alone anyway. Hopefully not. Hopefully you just continue to use, or not care about people, because otherwise, somebody's gonna. And the real answer is, like, for anything that's, it's like, the very least, it's like, you're gonna end up using it on someone you care about, and then that's that. True. And then, you know what? That's a good one. Lucky is actually, there was a webcomic I was reading where the guy's ability was his super luck. But the thing is, even though he's super lucky, so he doesn't, like, die or anything, right? He still gets super injured and stuff. He just doesn't die. He doesn't get, like, somebody attacks him. He might still fall on his face and fall down the stairs, but technically he's A-okay. The worst that could happen to him does not. But it doesn't prevent him from ending up in the hospital. In other words, and beyond that, it doesn't guarantee money either, because then you're also always on the run. Because if you keep winning the lottery, he doesn't. Maybe he gets lucky enough to win something, but at the same time, it's like always on the run as well. Because nobody believes you just got that lucky. That often. It's just one of those kinds of things. It actually makes a lot of sense to assume that. But yeah, good luck other than that. Who said legal court case? No, it wouldn't be like a legal method. Oh, heck no. No. The people that would be after you would be the people who, own whatever lottery or etc. Or are manipulating it or whatever under normal cases. Remember, house always wins. And if you get in the way of that, well. Get here. Yeah, give me that. I need that. They can't, like, kill you, no, but again, and going, well, who's going to stop you? It's kind of silly, because the fact is, they'll still find ways. All they gotta do is get around your luck. Like I said. And also, your luck doesn't protect people you love. So it goes right back to that one as well. So if you're gonna gain a luck-based power, you'd, best use it in moderation. Anyway, and then at which point, it's like, what's the point of having a luck-based power? In that sense, if you will. Although, it would be good in a little way. Also, you can't ever, like, you can't really enter the lottery more than, like, once or twice. Like, every maybe couple of years, that means as well, because you're definitely going to win. Well, you better hope that you live for bad luck. I mean, for Pete's sake, your bad luck's going to be... Whew. You got more yet? No, you're not. 1, 2. Yeah. So, yeah. I would argue that bad luck would probably be even worse than good luck. Because while you might have to be on the run for your whole life if you have good luck, you're definitely running for your life for a different way if you have bad luck. The only way bad luck is any good is if you are able to pass it on to someone else. At which point, though, it still kind of goes back to becoming a villain power. Which I don't think is a bad thing, but it's just like... it will interfere with your life. Also, anytime you interact with anybody and something bad happens to them, you'll have to wonder, was it my fault? Did I do that? Rather than, man, they've had an unlucky moment. So, yeah. So, I mean, the real answer is you need if you're going to have a power that isn't going to cause you massive amounts of annoyance, at the very least, if not outright potential tragedy, it needs to be something minor. Like, let's see, what would actually be a good example of a power that'd be good? Well, I will acknowledge, if you have the ability to pass on bad luck to others, casinos definitely would hire you. After all, that's good business for them. But then when the casino starts doing badly, then you're in trouble. But I like for them a little bit until that moment. Use it as a job. I will acknowledge that, but like I said, I feel like I said, I feel like instead of like over the top, it has to be something minor. Petty, not petty, because that's not really the right word. The overall won't affect the overall. So maybe the ability to change your hair color. That would be a good one. I see. I didn't say I just said you could change your hair color to whatever. It's a minor thing because basically overall, then you can just change your hair color at will and have potentially whatever hair color you want. Go all anime-esque if you want, even. But see, you're not actually a ginger either. I'm just going to point this out, Mr. Philly, if you think that's a bad thing. No, not necessarily. But what I was saying is more along the lines of just... For example, just like a simple thing. that would not be likely to cause too much overall chaos to your own life. I thought would be decent. I was specifically trying to pick an example that wouldn't just be like good for like one person and one person only, but still basically holds that kind of low level effort, if you will. No, I'm blonde. Definitively. I think I've mentioned this before. So yeah. Actually, because of the way I did this, was 1, 2, 3. But I do like how that is, so yeah, that'll be fine. But no. But I mean, that's kind of where I think that kind of power would be nifty, though, is because with blonde hair, it can be a little annoying to dye your hair. Because it can cause, if you're not careful, it doesn't really work out well for you. So I think that kind of really would be cool. Or, you know, change hair and eye color, maybe. Nothing too fancy overall, but I think it'd be cool because I do like this better. Like this, which means I'll like it better on this side as well. But you know, I mean, something like that would be cool. And very basic, so it wouldn't like affect things overall or affect you negatively. Typically, other than maybe like I can still think of things, but as an overall, I was just saying it's so minor, or like maybe the ability to find a quarter or whatever you walk around on the street. Had a penny. The ability to walk without getting tired. That'd be a good one. To be able to walk anywhere without actually ever getting tired, no matter how far away it is. It's blasé. It's a little. It's boring, but that's the point. Power-wise, it would be nothing too effective. What's great about being first in line? Actually, we're almost done here. I'm actually almost done. Oh, I need to cook up some... Do I have any... traffic? I guess. If you're lucky. But, like I was just picking very basic. Yes, basic. But yeah, that's true. If you're first in line, you're in traffic, then you're just the first, and you're the one causing the traffic, which makes people hate you. Actually, when you think about it. What ability would cause the most chaos? Invisibility. I think that's the one. It would be invisibility would cause the most chaos. Or can cause the most chaos. Because all you gotta do... Because remember, you're invisible, right? As you... Maybe, like, for example, in front of one of those UFO sighters... Walk with it in your hands while spinning it. Like a disc. Just far enough away for them to think it's farther away, but basically they can't see where... There's no strings attached or anything. World goes nuts. Trying to figure out if it... Just look at the current chaos with just trying to find out if aliens are real kind of thing. Whenever that comes up. And imagine being able to, like, quote-unquote prove it. Or have someone that can quote-unquote prove it, rather. Or supernatural events. They'll believe it's a supernatural event. Not those kinds of aliens. From space, man. And I'm not saying they're real or not. I'm just saying... From the point of view of basically... If you're trying to cause chaos, people will go nuts. About it. Or, you, like I said, you can do ghosts. Again, people go crazy when they think it's a thing. Heck, so long as you're careful, you could probably get away with stealing whatever you wanted. Because they can't do anything about it. I see. Well, either way, I wasn't even talking about whether ghosts are real or not. I was talking about fake a supernatural event if you're invisible. Chaos goes... People go crazy, believing it's the end of days. And stuff. Cha-ching. See, I'm not going to respond to that. But basically, overall, what I was saying is simply that you could get a lot of chaos from just basically being invisible. Other than that, I mean, you can lean into the whole alien thing with also being able to change your skin color. Metamorphosis would also work, actually, for that kind of purpose. My opinion on the paranormal? I think it's potentially possible. I'm not... again, it's not what I meant. And you know it. I meant, like, be able to make your skin blue or green or paisley patterned. Anyway, back to the paranormal question. It's possible. I'm not gonna say it's necessarily impossible. But I think that, personally, it's probably something that we shouldn't actually, like, just try to push or force it. I don't know how to put it. Specifically trying to look into and push. Kind of thing, I guess. try to push the boundaries. Blah. And then, like, I think that's just overall asking for trouble. And dwarves are nifty. I mean, after all, where are you going to get better weaponry than with a dwarf? If you say so. All I say is there's best craftsman. If you want to buy something specific, that's where you go. Would be a dwarf. And I don't think there's really much more to that. No reason to have a specific opinion. Other than that. So I was gonna go here, but do I actually go here? I think I do. Yeah.